Thanks for joining me again. I'm Natalie. This is the ProFit Golf channel, and this video is 2 exercises for senior golfers to increase rotation in the golf swing. One of the biggest problems for senior golfers is a lack of rotation in the golf swing. As we age, we tend to lose a degree of mobility. So the joints become a little bit more fused and we lose a little bit of range of motion that we have within the body. We also start to lose strength naturally as we age. Sadly, that is part of the aging process. So as a combination of these two things, what we start to see is less turn in the golf swing and therefore slower clubhead speeds and less distance that the ball is hit. Typically what we see is more arms used in the golf swing. So for example, we see people with shorter backswings, they're getting stuck around about here and they can't turn much further through the body, and they start to then get very armsy through the ball, losing width and becoming very narrow with the swing. And what that does, it tends to decrease clubhead speed. As a result, we then don't hit the ball as far. So I've got 2 exercises here that will help you to increase rotation, increase width in the swing, and hopefully help you to get back some of that distance that you've lost as we've got older. So for exercise number 1, we're aiming to create width and rotation whilst maintaining golf posture. So that's a really crucial thing, is that we want to achieve more turn, but we need to remain in posture. There's no point changing spinal angle because that will change our club path and club face ultimately. So I've got the good old red band back. Now, if you don't have a resistance band, I definitely recommend getting one. We use it a lot on this channel. However, you can do this exercise without. So let's get started with this drill. I'm going to hook the resistance band over both my thumbs, and then the band is going to hook over the back onto my shoulder blades. So pulling this nice and tight, this is going to come around the back of me, and it's just going to sit along my shoulder line roughly from here. So I'm going to set up or take what feels like normal posture, around about a wedge or a 9-iron stance. And then you're going to pull the band nice and tight so your arms are straight and you can feel that there's some resistance here against both thumbs. So you're going to bend yourself over and try and maintain this angle as best you can. Now the idea of this is to keep the resistance on the band at all times. So we don't want this pulling you in because therefore we've lost width. And width is one thing that we're trying to achieve with this exercise. So good straight arms, nice and tight across the thumbs here. Keep yourself looking at the ball, and I'm going to take my right hand and rotate my upper body down towards what will be my left foot. So I'm keeping this nice straight line here through both arms. And then I'm going to do the same thing, rotating to my right. So left hand towards the right foot, looking down, keeping nice straight arms. And I'm going to go back to the left-hand side and then back to the right-hand side. Now I'm rotating through my upper body, but allowing my hips to also come with me. There's no excessive turn through the hips. I'm not swaying and shifting across, but I'm not keeping them rigid. I'm letting them turn naturally as they would do. So just rotating right and left. Now you should be able to feel the side of the rib cage here working. It's a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of rotation coming in, but also mainly that width through the arms. So one of the things that senior golfers really struggle with is that width, especially keeping the lead arm straight, but gaining that extra little bit of turn. So exercise number 2, we're going to get down onto the floor. I'm using a mat here just to protect my knees, so you can use a cushion or a mat at home as well. Now this exercise is designed to help you create rotation through the rib cage and the spine, which are 2 limiting factors for a lot of players, but also it helps you maintain stability. So in order for the body to become more mobile or create more rotation and turn, we need an element of stability as well. So you have to have something to work against in order to turn away from. And that's exactly what this exercise will give you. So let's get stuck into this one. If I come down the line here, you'll see a little bit better. So firstly, I'm going to go onto hands and knees. So we're going to start with what we class as like a neutral spine, which is a fairly straight spine here. So I'm not too exaggerated in a dip, and I'm not too exaggerated in a curve this way. Try and find that middle ground. From here, you can take your fingertips and just place them on the temples like this. So I'm resting on the opposite hand. I've got the knees and feet for stability, and I'm just placing my fingertips on my temples. I'm then going to meet my elbow to my elbow here, which creates a little bit of rotation through the ribs. And then I'm going to rotate and open up through my right hand side as far as I can. So it looks like this. I'll turn and rotate and look up to the ceiling. So if I just take my hand away from a second, you can see that the rotation has happened here through the ribs and the spine. So I've got this hand facing one direction, but my right hand side of the body has turned away from the left hand side. I'm then going to take my elbow to meet the elbow again. That's the end of the rep. So we'll turn and rotate up, look over my shoulder or my elbow as best I can, holding it for a second, coming back to the start position. Turn and rotate up, hold it a second, back to the start position. So you're looking to keep this movement as fluid and as smooth as you possibly can. The key to this exercise, again, is not to change posture. So what we don't want to see is this. People kicking their hips out and sitting back to try and achieve that extra little bit of turn. Or the arm moving only on its own, independently, stuck here, and the rest of the body doesn't rotate with it. The idea here is to create more rotation through the torso. That is what will help you ultimately get more turn in the golf swing. So there we have 2 exercises for senior golfers to help you increase and improve rotation in your golf swing. I would aim for around 10 to 20 reps of each exercise, maybe 1 to 2 sets at a time. And if you can, 2 to 3, maybe 4 times per week. That will massively help you be able to increase the amount of upper body turn you've got and feel like you're overusing the arms even less. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up for a like. Don't forget to subscribe, share this with your golfing friends, and I'll see you next time for loads more golf fitness and golf exercise tips.